Now, I've been getting people hounding me about oil. Is it the right time to buy oil? What have I been saying? The demand for oil is not there yet. We still have an oversupply. But the amount of oil that we have sitting in supply has dropped a little bit. Now, what makes oil go up? Demand. If we still have a bit more oversupply, the demand is not there. But other countries like the Saudis and the Russians, a lot of other countries, oil-producing countries are starting to cut back on production. That, at some point, is going to stop the oversupply going out all over to even include us, and oil could be getting ready. Now, the story here says, and this was on April 27th, oil drops 3% in a volatile session as storage capacity fears and weak demand. Folks, that is key. When you hear me talk about not buying oil right now, it is weak demand with oversupply. But wait, I got another story. Oh, I don't have another story. That's the only story that I have. All right. Oil alternated between gains and losses in a volatile trading session that one point saw U.S. crude drop more than 20%. Traders continued to eye dwindling storage. All right, we're running out of places to hold it. Although some of the losses were offset by optimism about reopening of economies. So now there is some good news coming in, which could be a driver of oil prices starting to go up. But wait. Let's do this. Let's get, oh, darn it. Did I do it the wrong way? I did it the wrong way. Dang nabbit. I'm going to do it that way. It worked. All right. Let's go look at, I have two stocks in here for oil. I have, that was my extra stock, USO and WTI. One is an ETF, that's USO. WTI is West Texas Offshore. The stock is currently overvalued. No good upside potential, no good safety. But what do I see going on with WTI? RT above 1. The stock's in an uptrend. It is in an uptrend. Let's go look at the stock graphs real quick. All right. Whew. U.S. oil, something happened. There's the split. There was a 1-to-8 split on USO. I would rather look at WTI. There it is. WTI, West Texas Offshore. Look at that. Above the 20-day. Now, for any of you, let's go back 5 days. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This was last week when we were looking at WTI. We did look at it last week. This is where it was. I said I would really like to see this stock break up a little bit more. It did. Finally, take off last close. It did. It started breaking up, but what is it doing right now? Even since last Thursday, what's the stock doing? All right, it's moving sideways. Let's take this a step further. I do have a petroleum watch list. So for those of you who are, I know, is Rich here? Is Trade Shark here? I know that he's already been, he's on my personal tweet and Facebook. He's like, no, I'm ready to go buy oil. Let me show you something. I got a listing of 80 stocks in my oil or petroleum watch list. Now, what I do want to show you, let me show you something. I can do an index of oil stocks this way too. I've got 80 stocks in here which cover the full gambit of petroleum. Exploration, drilling, the whole 9 yards. The thing that needed to be done for all of these stocks to get in here, the stocks had to be greater than $1 and they had to be greater than 100,000 shares average. All right, so with that being done, I've got a listing of 80 stocks. Notice that in my watch list average, the stocks have good upside potential. So, Rich, I'm with you. Long term, I think oil is going to work. I'm with you. Good upside potential on the watch list. The safety is not there, and RT is below 1. If I'm thinking about pulling the trigger on oil, the demand is not there yet. Let's wait for the whole group of the stocks to get an RT above 1. Let me graph it for you, Rich. I'm really coming after you, my friend, because I know he says he's ready to get into it. Now, let me show you a couple of things. One, see this gap down that happened on March 6th? You know what we haven't done yet? We haven't faded that gap yet. We haven't filled the gap that happened on March 6th, number one. Number two, the stock or the industry of these stocks, all 80 stocks, is currently above the 20-day exponential moving average. So that's one in your part, 1 point for you there, Rich. Number 2, it's trending higher from the low. That's 2 points for you, Rich. 3, RT is trending higher, not above 1, but trending higher. That's 3 points for you, Rich. So if I'm looking at being a little bit more aggressive, could I be in oil right now? The answer to that is yes. If I'm looking for more confirmation on being in oil, let's get back into that gap that happened back on 3-6. Let's wait for RT, which nobody else has in this industry, to tell me that oil, these 80 stocks as a watch list, is back above 1, saying that they're in an uptrend. So, Rich, I got you. I know that you're a little bit more aggressive, but before I tell anybody out there who's waiting to get into oil what to look for, I would definitely like to wait for RT to go above 1. I like volume overall as well, but this is what I'm looking for before I pull the trigger, and that's the power of using the VectorVest software to make a better decision. From a more aggressive standpoint, look at this here. It went above, you're like, yay, oil's gonna go. Oh, it fall down, go boom. Then it rose again, yay, it's time to go. Now it's moving a little higher. I like that as well. But if you need more confirmation, folks, let's get back into the gap that happened here, number 1. Number 2, let's wait for RT to get above 1. Any questions, Joey?
Can we get that search for oil?
It's not a search. And Joey, all right, I'm going to do this real quick. Take me off the screen. If you want, when this video comes back out, take a screenshot right now. Take a screenshot right now of these first few stocks. This is not a search. This is a watch list, and I used the industries within the VectorVest software. I looked at all of the petroleum industries, and I put all of the stocks from all of the industries into one watch list. I sifted through that watch list to make sure that all of the stocks that I wanted to keep were greater than $1 and had an average volume of greater than 100,000 shares. What Joey is doing, he's trying to make sure that you can screenshot each one of these screens, or better yet, when this does come out, when Joey cuts up the video and it comes out, you can pause, write these down, build your own watch list. But Joey is taking the time to make sure that he's segmenting each one of these pages out so that you can make your watch list. Take screenshots, take screenshots. All right, thank you for doing that, Joey. Any other questions?
Rich said he got 3 points, so...
All right, so good for you, Rich. But I said...
So you're drinking that haterade?
No, I'm not drinking haterade. I'm drinking reality aid. I'd rather, for anybody who's going to listen to me, I want to be real. I want to give you real talk. If you're more aggressive, as I mentioned, jump. All right, I know that Rich is a little bit more aggressive, but not everybody in the room fits that. So what I'm trying to do is give you some semblance of what to look for before, as a group, you pull the trigger. If you're more aggressive, you looked at the graph. The graph says, fine. If you're not that aggressive, I've now at least set the table for what to look for. Anything else?
How many buys are on that list?
How many buys are on this list? If I sort by buys, sold, hold, sells, wow, 4. Rich, you with me still, bro? Only 4 stocks in that whole list of 80 stocks is a buy recommendation. Does that make sense if you're looking for confirmation, folks? Because as we get closer to confirmation, more of these stocks will become buy recommendations. Rich is a little bit more aggressive. What I just did by sorting by recommendation proves it. That's it. I'm only talking real. That's the only way for me to be in this room, is to talk real. All right? Any other questions, Joey?
No love in RT or VST?
Say again?
No love in RT or VST?
And actually, I looked at the whole list on RT and VST. Look at them. Still below. Could I figure out the stocks? How about if I go through the list and I try to find a stock that's got all 3 above 1, RVRS, RT above 1? I might have a hard time doing that, right? Look at that. Wow. I've got no stock in this list that's got above 1 on all 3. Another reason why, as an industry or as a group of stocks, I'm not ready to pull the trigger yet. I need more confirmation. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Now, if you're new to the software or would like refresher information about the software, click on this Getting Started video right here. Thanks to all of your input, here's a YouTube video that we think would be perfect for you. Click right here. If nothing else, folks, just hit the subscribe button right here.